BL been breaking out all over Houston. Apparently, Miss Pamela Turner was shot and killed 5 times in Baytown yesterday. Baytown is a city, about 20 miles or so roughly east of Houston, due east, going out 10. Apparently, she has some mental issues. She apparently is disabled due to her mental issues, schizophrenia, and I'm not sure whatever else. And was being evicted or something from her apartment. The landlord had put the notice on the door, or whatever the case may be, and she nutted up and scratched the landlord, and I think broke her glasses and broke the car, but scratched the car, something along them lines. So she was charged with a couple misdemeanors, and there was some warrants out for her arrest for those misdemeanors. There is a video of this officer that killed her. In the video, she can be heard saying, leave me alone, you're harassing me, I'm going home, I'm going, into my apartment, or whatever the case may be. And the officer, I guess, is trying to detain and or arrest her. A little scuffle, some tossing and turning, whatever the case may be. And supposedly she was able to secure his taser from him and used it on him in his genital area. And so he drew his weapon and he fired 5 shots. Boom, 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 boom. And she died. So, here's my take on that. I don't know enough of the background to go in depth with it, because it just happened yesterday. But what I will say is, we got to start policing our own. We have to start policing our own.
They killed her because you said she snatched.
She said she obtained his taser.
She got his taser.
And she got him in the private area.
Well, baby,
and he fired. He pulled his weapon. And he fired 5 times and got him.
Yeah.
So
somebody with a taser.
Well, here's my problem with that. He was by himself.
Okay.
So if he was,
I could see why he reacted the way he did.
I understand his reaction. I just think what could have been done different is, if he were going to execute that warrant, he should have had other people present with him, notified, because they usually, if they don't ride in pairs in one car, then they have a paired partner that they communicate with through the night or through their shift.
So they say he was going to get her, like pick her up?
Well, supposedly they've had dealings before. And so he was familiar with her. And that's my next thing. If you're familiar with her, then she has mental health issues. She's subject to not necessarily comply.
But how do they, no, because they could have dealings with her and she hasn't, didn't uncomply, whatever you want to call it, didn't act the fool then.
Well, you're also serving a warrant you're not serving a warrant for bad checks. You're serving a warrant for her being physical with other people. So knowing that she's got a mental health issue, and knowing that the warrants that you're serving is 3 misdemeanor warrants for simple assault type of stuff, and that sort of thing, because she hit the lady in the face or scratched her, pulled her glasses off or something, scratched her, that sort of thing. So that this is a potential. Why would you even attempt to execute the warrant without backup, without someone else present? And here's my thing: was it necessary to do it then? Was it so critically necessary? You know where she lived. You had a house. You know where she lived. Why you couldn't wait?
Because she probably could have ran. Then they had to go look for her. Think about that.
Well, that's true. That is true. But however, I will say this: we're talking misdemeanors. We're not talking felony. We're not talking danger to society.
Well, if she got misdemeanor for scratching people, what you say, hitting on people?
gonna have to edit this one.
For sure.
I just feel like, I mean, if it was me in that position, well,
If someone tased me in my
but
baby,
see, that's the thing. We
yeah.
don't know. Like, what if he was just gonna let her ride, or I don't know. Maybe, but you're right. He should have came with backup. They were gonna.
He should have came with backup. They were executing the warrant, and but because supposedly they had previous dealings, and he knew her. He knew who she was.
Okay.
And so it's kind of one of the, and so that takes me back to, if you know who she is, if you know her history, you know what her criminal background is, you can run an NCIC check from your car, you know what the warrants are for, etc. Why did you insist on executing that warrant there by yourself? She said, she called out, "You're harassing me." So I don't know, and that was before there was hands put on or anything like that.
Well, she lose all bits. Well, not bits, but the harassment call. When you sit there and you tase an officer, you get what you get.
Well, but that was during the scuffle. That was during the scuffle.
Why,
she didn't just walk up to him and snatch his taser.
So that means you were struggling. Why are you resisting arrest? Why are you if you got worn out, come on now. I can see there are people who didn't do anything at all and pleaded harassment or whatever, and you can clearly see, clear as day, that the police are just being buttholes to them and, you know, treating them wrong and pushing them on the ground for no reason. They're not struggling or resisting. And then the fact that you sat there and you tased them in a part where you knew what that was going to do. She knew where she tased him at. She knew that was going to make that man mad. Because I do the same thing. For real.
I bet he'll remember that, though.
Yeah, and that's probably why he killed her.
Yeah. No, actually, when I looked at the video, to me, from what I saw, and I just played it twice, it looked like that was his reaction, you know, his response. It didn't look like he went to do that initial. Well, obviously he didn't, because he had his taser as opposed to his service weapon. I just think, in all honesty, that he could have waited for backup.
Yeah, and he probably would have got one. Yeah.
And let's just be real. So misdemeanor. So she winds up losing her life in essence because she has a mental issue, which probably prevented her from being able to act in a way that you and I would normally act if someone is serving you with eviction notice on your door, or a late notice, or whatever it was they were putting on her door. So she got mad. She scratched, and that turned into the charges. And again,
she needs to be in somebody's mental hospital.
And if that's the case, then we handle it that way. We don't handle it as if she's a danger to society that we must take down at all. You know, we must get her right now. We've got to get her, and if she doesn't comply, then that means I can use whatever force I want to use on her. You know?
No, but I mean, you tase somebody, you get what you get.
A taser can be deadly force as well.
That's what I'm saying. I know that. That's what I'm saying. You can kill somebody with a taser.
So to me, it wasn't even worth it. So I think
it wasn't worth it. It was. Somebody coming at me with a taser. Come on now, and then think about it. The fact that you got close enough to even reach.
Well, but they was tussling. He had been grabbing on her and stuff or whatever, and she was resisting. Yes, she was resisting, trying to get away or whatever the case may be. She wound up on the ground. He had her down on the ground. And somehow in the process, she got a hold of his taser. And so she got him supposedly in the groin area, and that's when he pulled his service weapon and
his gun. His service weapon, his gun.
Yeah, his handgun.
Well, I mean, she lucky she got to tase him, because most people don't even get to do that.
Yeah, at least she got. Yeah, I ain't going down without a fight. But yeah, no, y'all, all kinds of stuff breaking loose in Houston. I don't know what the hell going on, but y'all, I hate to say this, like this, when officers approach you, just be compliant, because that's what they want. They want to be able to walk up to you, ask or require anything of you, and you just give it, no ifs, ands, or buts, no questions, no nothing. That's what they want. And what I taught my kids, and not just mine that I birthed, but the other kids that I interact with, the ones that I mentored, is you have to use wisdom. There are times to exert your rights, and there are times when not to. And in this situation, it would be nice if her mental state was different, and then we could say, yeah, just comply. You know you have warrants. Put your hands where they need to be. Go on and take the ride. Do what you got to do. Handle it. But in the overall thing is pretty much use wisdom. There are times when you need to go ahead and comply, and there are times when it might be okay for you to stand your ground, so to speak, or to exert your right to walk freely without, I guess you would say, being accosted or being approached and required information of you from the officers requiring information. But you have to be, use wisdom with it, have witnesses around, make sure you're on up and up, make sure there's nothing going on with you that they have a right to be detaining you for whatever reason. And then make sure the manner in which you speak to them is not a threatening manner. You definitely don't want to be threatening to them, because that escalates things immediately. And what I would tell my kids is, live to tell your story. Live to fight another day. Sometimes pushing it that hard in that moment, and I get it, because trust me, I've been there. I have been there. But sometimes you got to take a step back so that you can live to fight another day, another way, and in another venue. But yeah, people, we know we're like targets. So just be mindful. Know your rights, whatever state you're in, know your rights. And whatever's left after they try and erode everything. And then be sure to handle yourself, use wisdom in such a way that you can live to tell the story and fight another day, another way, and in another location. Peace out.